Welcome back, friends. It's time for our last match of the day. I know it's going by real quick today. It's Team Secret versus Heroic. A lot to unpack for this matchup, and it's the perfect time for us, well, for you to join us here on the analyst desk. I'm Alex the Medic. With me are Fresh and Fabian. Before we start off Secret versus Heroic, a quick shout out to Heroic's latest signature, Mr. Ville Palola Chatte, who has just signed on.
Substitute and content creator.
I'm a big fan of Chatte myself.
All of your former teammates are getting into teams.
They're all washed.
Kanto,
Washed.
Uno,
Washed.
Chatte,
Super washed.
Pen. No, not Pengu yet, but
Super washed.
could be soon.
They're all washed.
Just not
Noobs.
you. Oof.
You're the one that's on the analyst desk with me and Jack. I'm sorry, man. It's I'm willing to self-burn on this
later,
one.
I'm out.
There you go. Heroic versus Team Secret. Fresh,
Just
for
me
the
and you
first
then.
time you get to speak fully on the desk here. So let's have a chat about Heroic and what they have to offer in this
Yeah,
game.
Fabian likes the spotlight too much. That's why he's back. Heroic, top of the league. Or we're top of the league coming into today. Believe they still potentially are just on... Oh no, Rogue have beat them by 1 point. But... impressive performance. They said they wanted to be number one. They had to go and back up that claim. They had a bit of an unfortunate loss. That one loss that you'll see there to Na'Vi, they will be left potentially ruining, but I think we're seeing a top 4 team. Beaten M&M, beaten Pones. So they've beaten some of the lower sides in the table so far, but that win over G2 on Thursday, massive win for them, massive win for their confidence.
I think of the teams that are, well, especially for Heroic, the teams that are still left to play is going to be where it all cements itself.
Yeah.
They have the hardest teams probably
There's
left.
a BDS, there's an LFO still to play.
So we have some quite hard-hitting teams that they're playing against. One thing I want to highlight is their attacks in the first 2 games. They actually managed to bag 81% of their attacks, while the last 2 games they've only managed to get down 33% of their attacks, which is 2 out of 9 or 3 out of 9. So their attacks have gone down a little bit, and obviously it comes mostly because of the game versus G2, where both sides just kind of battled out in defense, but hopefully they'll get back on track today.
That's Heroic, and of course their content has been popping off all over socials.
That's true.
Threatening G2 out there. Got to be real careful what Heroic can bring. At this point, they might as well just sign Lanto and really complete the entire best signatures of the year for EU League. What about Secret on the other side, Jack?
Well, they're playing with the coach. And normally that's a bad thing. But Secret went 0-2 playing with their full 5 roster coming into this stage. They change up pack ball, they pick up, well, not pick up, Titan steps in as their coach, and they win 2 games. On Cafe, they beat M&M, who chose to start them on the defense first, let them get into it, and then they beat Outsiders as well. Realistically, I have no idea how they've won the last 2 games. Fabian has no idea how they won the last 2 games. But it just shows how important mental is in Siege, because the other 4 players, especially Keenan, has been activated.
How did they win?
It's just God Titan. That's simply
Okay,
it.
sure.
It's the key to all solutions. It's the best player to touch this game.
I love the Photoshop that they pulled in.
It's
for
418, is it 416? Something. I think 418. His scoreline is immense, and it's the pressure he's putting on his opponents.
Lots of plants, though.
No, but to be serious on another note, it's that basically this team has no pressure for the stage whatsoever on them anymore.
Yeah.
They've kind of, to a degree, even though they're coming into this Playday on 2nd place, they've kind of given up the stage because they're not playing with 5 players. But giving it up gives them no pressure, and they can just live on the vibes, as Kenny is saying.
Vibing.
Yeah, they're just
So-
vibing.
Very much wibing in this one. Let's see which map we're going to be wibing on for today. This matchup, 9-map pool, 8 are out, 1 is left, and it'll be Cafe Dostoevsky. Team Secret start off on the attacking side with Heroic on defense. Oh boy, you're not wibing at all over
I'm
there.
not vibing at all, not one bit. What?
I think in both our preparations, we were both thinking, just don't go to Cafe. Because this is the map they know how to play with a coach. Like, if you're Heroic, that's just got to be your first ban. Go to any other map. Make them play a Clubhouse. Make them play a Oregon. Make them play a Villa. Just a map that they can't just win rounds, seemingly, because they have an idea on how to play it. They've won the last 2 games on Cafe with Titan playing. I don't understand the decision why you would go back there, even if you believe you're better than them on that map. Just get rid of it.
I mean, I spoke to Titan about this. He's basically my best friend. He's closer to my heart than my mom. Basically, he said that Cafe is the only map that they practice. They practice it 3 times a day, every single day of the week, every single month since he joined their team.
So they're operating on a 1-map pool and teams keep taking them there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Because actually what Team Secret have done, they've gotten a sort of cheat code that when they're playing with their coach, they get all the bans.
technically, like Easy said last time, every round is a tactical timeout because Secret have Titan on the roster. So who knows? It's all over the place. And honestly, up to Secret to show us the rest. If they can beat Heroic and Cafe, that would be incredible. That's a story we're going to talk about.
I'm just waiting for G2 to put Shaz on the board. It's going to happen sooner or later.
I might shotgun.
Yeah, that's the future.
No.
DMRs can open hatches, guys, for those of you that don't know.
Okay. Fabian Fresh, thank you very much. That's Heroic v Secret. Let's toss it to our casters who got Ace and Des. Enjoy.
Like the later on the day goes, the more chaotic energy just kind of pours out of Fabian's mouth.
Yeah, it's just fitting right in with the team.
Fitting in plenty fine for us because the post show coming up later means there's even more chaos to come. But first, we've got to get our way through Cafe, which seems abound to be filled with chaos. Why would you take Secret back to back? They've won twice. My only logical reasoning can be that Heroic have got a counter in mind. They've gone through, they've looked at those last 2 games. They've decided Secret are really relying on the hinges here to get them through. And they feel they've got an answer. But Tim, you can't help but feel a little bit cynical.
Outsiders thought they had an answer. They did not.
They did not, Tim.
They did not, Des.
Did.
EUL teams, please stop taking Team Secret to Cafe.
Imagine if they win this today. The timeline's going to be on fire.
It really is.
What a time to be alive. Let's get into our operator bans and see where things start off. First ban out of Heroic is going to be that Ying. I believe that's been banned at least 3 of our games so far today, Tim, if not 4. A very prominent ban. Many teams really enjoying using it because it often forces the defenders into playing the Warden. But of course, having Candelas and having the smokes on side can just be so powerful. Osa also going to join the ban pool here, taken away by Team Secret. That's an interesting one that has crept in a couple of times over the last few weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen Osa's power.
Haven't we just?
Interesting on Cafe. I don't think, I can't think of any sort of huge sort of plays that we've seen with Osa on Cafe, particularly sort of being repeated in the same spots. I'm thinking, you take Osa out on Bank, for example, you're protecting against that plant down in the basement. You take her out on Oregon, you're preventing against the rear stage plant. Window play particularly could be a factor for us on Cafe. Getting her on the East Rappel, for example, getting her on the piano windows, using those shields to help you aggress into those areas. So there's certainly value in the Osa, absolutely. Clash and Valkyrie going to make up the other bands.
All right, finishes things out. The Osa, I think, can be really interesting when attacking in towards Kitchen because you push your way down the red corridor, plant a shield on the double doorway looking in towards site. We've seen teams do that, and you just prevent any kind of cross. So it makes it quite, I'm not going to say super easy, but makes it more comfortable to get a plant down inside a bunker or coffee or box or whatever you want to call that area of the map. But essentially one of the most important spots that you see in the game. We've also seen people step in through Freezer, plant it down, punch it, and then plant behind the shield. I think it was Leon Gibbs that we first saw do that. So it's not like she's uncommon on this map, but maybe just more, you don't want to have to deal with that. You don't want to have to run loads of impacts. So this is a good way of getting around it. That said, Tim, we are starting up on the top 4. It's going to be Bar and Cocktail to kick things off. No Castle, but there is an Aruni on side being brought along by Sloth, and we're seeing one of those gates pop down inside a Cigar. And given there is utility scattered around, I'm thinking we might see a bit of a hold in towards Cigar here, Tim.
I think that you could be right. We've got the Mute underneath as well. It's going to be Benja down there, becoming quite a common little presence. Just having that C4 in hand with a Nitro. We don't get too many Nitro kills, though. There are a few safe areas, which tends to be the areas that players operate in naturally, not specifically necessarily, I don't think, to avoid the C4. It's just sort of naturally how it goes with the attackers here on Cafe. Nitro is already ripped and ready to go. Benja potentially going to look for a little bit of hatch action here. He's just waiting for his moment. He's obviously waiting for a sound cue, whether that maybe be a drone or something to come down just to tell him that they're playing in and around that hatch. Out comes the air jab. You're going to have to be careful now, Benja, because if you extend up too far, he's waiting for the drop, potentially, I think, here. He's just holding himself back, doesn't want to aggress. He's going to have to leave now. He's going to
stay
put. He's having none of it. He's just going to stay back. The thing is, quite clever, this, because difficult area to challenge. There's a potential for nades, maybe. But as soon as he hears that drop, the Nitro's going to go straight up, and it could be an absolute freebie. You can keep droning him, but No, he's going to dip away.
Still, you wasted a good 30 seconds or so there as well, just by drawing them in, because you drop, you know full well there's going to be a C4 singing over that banister, and there is a very low chance that you walk away with your life. So, halfway into the round, Secret are just about getting themselves inside a cigar. It's not bad timing for this site, given there isn't a whole map to step forward and clear from this point onwards. They're just being conscious about these cheeky angles that might come down from hell, looking up through that hatch inside a cigar shop. No one yet to be found here, and they have got the window control they're looking for, and they've got a couple of holes open up here in towards bathroom and storage areas. So, they've got something to work with, but you've got to start pressing forwards now and find the next step.
Sloth has not yet been troubled inside a washroom. He's got his ADS, he's got his shield. He is ready to go and challenge anybody who tries to come inside of Piano. We have the...
Can we look Skylight for a second? Are they gathering around? Because if you remember last time against M&M, they did drop like 4 in through Skylight and just go for a massive push in. I don't think they'll go for it again, but it could be on the agenda.
I'm not sure they'll get away with it again, would be my bigger concern, but there's possibly a thought. We've got Keenan out on Cocktail Rappel as well. He's one to watch. He's potentially going to swing in and just decimate that eastern side of the map here.
I think they're going to do it.
They certainly are. The smoke canister comes out. Keenan challenges, actually drops off the Rappel and challenges. That smoke has missed, and Titan is able to get this one secured. Somehow they've got away with it again. Keenan gets the opener onto Grizzly. Kills come raining in, 4v3, and it's Team Secret who stand on top. And the problem is, I'm pretty sure they've got somebody up on the Skylight. They do indeed. 3. They've got men over. This is going to be difficult, but the challenge from Skylight onto Diffuser could be a little bit tricky because it's planted hard up against the bomb chassis, so that's certainly something to watch. We see players play in this area quite often, but yes, there is going to be an answer, and there it is.
Oh, they had the nade ready, but again, you just saw it coming together. The positions being held by the defenders. No one really contesting bar. They were just slowly forced away by flashes, by nades, you name it. And Secret are like, well, if you ain't going to play the bar, we'll help ourselves to a drink. We'll get the plant down. We'll close the round out. No bother at all. And all really Heroic were relying on was those smoke canisters. Not the start you're looking for. Down they go onto the bottom floor. We're going to try kitchen, service, and cooking defense. And I think here we need to see a bit more active resistance coming out from the side of Heroic, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a roam game coming in.
I think I'm right in saying this, that Secret are the only team I've seen actually successfully plant from a Skylight drop in UL.
This stage?
Very possibly.
Aren't they the only ones that have played Cafe this stage, it feels like?
Titan is an absolute demon on the Diffuser.
Oh, mate, he's like, I ain't gonna be able to shoot. Just get me in sight. I'll hold down F. You boys do the pew-pew. I'll do the and away we go.
That's what it's all about. We're going to be defending kitchen.
Titan has more plants than kills this stage.
I mean, does
5
it?
plants, 4 kills.
And 2 wins. 5 plants, 4 kills, 2 wins, 6 points. They're the only numbers that matter, aren't they?
So this is like the definition of like over excessive luxury. Rather than sending me a message through the digital medium of technology that we have, Fabian just writ it on a big Word document and held his screen up to show us. That's true, just like, nah, can't bother to press send, just look at my screen. Truly, truly disgusting. Let's get into round 2. We've got a Monty on side. Kendrew, a go-to old operator for him as well. Think back to the Na'Vi days. I think back of a really good time back when old G2 used to play against Na'Vi on this map, and we'd have a clash versus a Monty all the way from top floor, chasing each other down white stairs. It was beautiful. Here, it's just the one on side because that clash is banned away, and the sheer fact they've banned the clash away might suggest that's why they're bringing the Monty out here. There's no real easy way to disrupt it outside of chucking a bunch of nades at it, C4s. Of course, if you get nice and close, you can melee it out the way now. It's a little bit different, but Kendrew is one of those Monty players that is very unlikely to let that happen.
Grizzly and Benji getting aggressive at the beginning around there. Grizzly challenging onto that small bakery window. We saw Benji with a quick run out of a VIP window as well. Didn't get any success, and still Secret are at full health, looking to continue this push into bakery. Toxic Babe canister having to go out already, but it's going to be Gorgona on a run out. More of that aggression. He's going to find Gomfe. He's going to take a lot of damage for it, but so does Sleben. So that leaves Team Secret in a little bit of a sticky situation right now. Uno playing hard up against this double reinforced wall. Sleben, even with low health, manages to find Grizzly, and that's going to bring in a difficult situation. position for Uno as Kendrew manages to drop the shield and take the man down. That's going to give Bakery control over to Team Secret and a swing around in man count from 5v4 to 4v3.
Despite that jump out, yet they've swung things back on side. Uno was really dug in the trenches there, couldn't get much further out without trying to fight for his life, and alas, Kendrew whips out that pistol and brings him down. They have got a few members down to low HP though, so it's not like it's a wonderful outcome for the side of Secret. A couple of bullets and any of them will see them out, but Gorgona equally is just down to 1 HP.
Benja, he's on the hunt here. He wants to get himself down to small Baker. It's been a tough 2 rounds for him so far. Nothing he's tried has really worked. There's plenty of time for him to get things going, but Keenan just needs to be aware that there could be a flank on here. Gorgona, with low health, is going to finish off the job onto Sleben. That's going to level things up at 3v3, and Team Secret, they need to try and find a way in. Keenan nearly losing his head to Benja there, who's proving to be a little bit of a menace out in this corridor. Finds the head of Titan, but traded immediately back 2v2. Things stay level, 30 seconds left to go. We've got Gorgona on low health, having to play it safe here. He's just trying to find an angle onto the Monty of Kendrew, but not able to just as of yet.
In a 1 versus 1, there's no way you walk out there as the Monty player, really. Well, 1 versus 2, sorry, I should say. But Sloth picks up both kills around from Sinks, and they finally get themselves that round on the board. So, 1 apiece. That's the kind of start you want, because for a few seconds there, it felt like Secret might be able to push forwards. A 3 versus 2, Monty still on side, things are looking good. Just couldn't quite get it over the finish line. Fireplace and Mining we're going to head to here for round number 3. And Grizzlies rocking that castle. We've got the Mirror, we've got the Pulse, a Rooney, lots of things to really dig in for a good defence.
We've seen a lot more mining over the last couple of playdays particularly. We've seen more of it in the stage as a whole, but
thanks, Secret.
It really does seem to have ramped up in the last couple of playdays, particularly where we're seeing it taken as a preference over Reading Room quite often, which is a little bit of a surprise, but still, you know, both very viable sites. Both, I think Reading was often picked up because it lacks the external window. I think, you know, that's always seen as a bit of a direct sort of breach in the hull of any site, is that external window where you can just work directly into it like that. But yeah, a lot of teams favouring Mining.
And there's also, don't forget, a much larger area of coverage to get before you have vertical control on that other site, whereas here you get the west side, you're basically one and done. Also considering on this site, there are a lot of double doorways. It's not just single doorways you've got to push through, whereas inside of Reading, everything is a single doorway. You've got the reinforced wall to breach out. There's just a lot more to do, a lot more complication, a lot more risk. So here, I don't know. It's one of those that I look at and just think for the attackers, genuinely, you consider it to be a bit easier, but most teams are arguably way more unfamiliar with it at the same time, given you don't see it all that often.
Interestingly, Heroic have castled and reinforced off all access into Piano from Red Stairs, so they're going to be extremely reliant on the player inside of Washroom, who may rotate through into barback storage. A little bit of freedom for the Aruni there.
I love this.
It's going to be Gorgona playing on there, but Gorgona's position is essential. If they lose Gorgona, there's no flank onto this position. There's no getting up Red Stairs and challenging onto them. You just got to accept that there's going to be a lot of verticality into sight from that point.
I was just about to say, you can get someone on white, really, and just blast him out of that room as well. Chuck a couple of nades in there. He's nigh on screwed. He has to move away from somewhere. You hold the cross. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Here, though, Kendra going for some long-range nades, hoping to find someone around Lumber, but I don't actually think there's really anyone there. I think he's more trying to get rid of any potential gadgets that were set up. Maybe the Malusi Banshee was there to stop someone charging up white. So now that's open, Gorgona's got to be mindful of what could be coming.
Gorgona and Benja playing very, very close together here, and Gorgona needs to be careful that he doesn't abandon that washroom for too long, because if somebody gets established inside a Piano, it might not be easy to move his way back in there. Gonfi just looking to make his way up those white stairs. He's doing it very cautiously, very aware that there could be somebody roaming underneath. There isn't quite there at the moment. Keenan tries to push through on a horizontal one across. Uno's going to find him. Gonfi taking damage, and this is not looking good for Secret at the minute. Heroic looking like they've got a good handle on what's going on.
How is Gonfi alive? That C4 was a couple of meters from him, but he's still in one piece. Nade's coming on the upstairs, almost taking out Gorgona. Down to half HP he goes as Kendrew now dropping in through this top hatch, looking to get involved in the firefight here. Benja picking another one up for Heroic. It's looking good here in round 3. 2 rounds on the board, but Secret are still looking towards the site.
Going to have that yellow ping information for Sloth. He's going to play in behind these mirror windows. It's not going to take him much of an opportunity to find his man. He sees him. He knows where the head is. He just holds off maybe a little bit too long. He's going to lose his mirror window. There he gets really cheeky and manages to peek around it and somehow gets away with it. Titan's going to eat the dirt in a minute if he's not careful. But he just manages to avoid that nitro and get himself up the red stairs. Sloth
criminal.
once again getting away with clearing those Excaros pellets. It all comes down to Titan, who goes up, matches his plants with kills now, I think. That'll leave him on 5 each. Well done, Titan. He finds himself in a nasty little 1v3. He can't get the second man. Gives him a little spray down, but ultimately, Heroic, they come away with the round. And this is looking maybe a little bit more what the other teams who have played Team Secret here on Cafe expected might happen.
I'm just excited every time we get Titan stuck in a 1vx.
I love it.
I want him to just ace the team. It'll go down in history. The coach who aced an EUL team. Oh, what a beauty it'd be. But no, 2 rounds now on the bounce for Heroic. Things starting to look up for them. Admittedly, again, in round 2, they were in a losing position, but Secret just about unable to close it out. That round there did feel a little bit like they were a little bit stuck and lost, to be honest. Weren't quite sure where it was they were trying to play from and play to, and just got picked apart by Heroic from the shadows. Wonderful stuff. Now we're going towards that 4th site of Reading and Fireplace, the more common of the 2. And my concern here for Secret is that you need to get full control of the top floor really to make this work. I don't think they go for a Hail Mary and push their way in through Snow Door, for example. It'll be a full top floor control, which they couldn't really break apart last time because of the mirror windows. You've got to do that and more for this site.
Round number 4 then. Heroic getting themselves a real toehold. I think we're going to have potentially, we've got a call for a rehost, we'll see. Yes, we do. There we go. We head out into the little technical pause while we get this lobby rebuilt and we get all the players back in. Shouldn't take us too long. But for me, Heroic have got themselves a real toehold in this one. And I think, I'll say what I said to you before we came on, Casters. And for me, that was that Team Secret have had a great run. They've had a good couple of wins. But surely that run is over now. They're playing with the coach. They're going up against some of the big boys here in EUL. Heroic have shown that they've got some real capability, real ability, real talent in this side. And I said, it just feels like they've been waiting. This is absolutely, it's not meant in any sort of negative way towards Secret. They've done fantastically well with the situation they found themselves in. But
Titan is definitely going to clip that, put it on Twitter later and just say, and I took that personally.
I'm sure he will do. But
it's coming for your throat, mate.
I'm sure he won't take what I'm going to say personally. It feels like with the situation, it was inevitable that they were going to take difficult losses. It seemed inevitable that they'd be a 7-2, a 7-1. You know, I mean, Tim, coming up against teams that are fighting for the best teams in the world.
Before the last game of, well, the game number 4, the one that was before this one, they were 4th in the competition.
Exactly.
They were in a major position. That's ridiculous.
And it just felt like there would come a point whereby we had to start seeing those losses come in. You know, surely they do not go, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to see it as much as the next guy. This team to go on a miracle run and end up at the major or something would be absolute, you know, what a story. It'd be absolute fairy tale.
Titan at the US major.
It'd be fairy tale stuff. What a time to be alive. But you just know that there has to come a point where the luck runs out. And, you know, as much as they'll be putting the hard work in, they'll be putting the graft in, they're having fun, they're playing for the right reasons. But ultimately, they're going to come against a team that's like, right, enough's enough now. And they're going to really get sort of put to the wall. And I did wonder coming into this whether it was going to be today. And for me, those last couple of rounds, you know, they got away with the plant in the first round, but otherwise it's not really been close. Heroic have been in firm control of this one so far.
Really what they need, I think, is for Keenan to come up big now as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because he has been the shining light for them these last few weeks. You know, I think he's like the 3rd highest rated player in EUL. Currently +5 on entry, +16 on KD. You know, he really is making himself a known presence for Team Secret. This game so far a little bit quiet, admittedly, but it is only 3 rounds in. They are on the attacking side. Defense could be where things completely turn around for these boys. And I think for Heroic, they have to be really respectful, especially of Keenan, because he has run through teams several times over in the last 12 months.
Absolutely, the possibility is still there, and Heroic absolutely cannot switch off. But you know, I expect, given what we've seen in those first 3 rounds, that there's going to be more defensive rounds for Heroic. I could see this going 4-2-5-1 possibly, and I just don't know after the last 2 play days where the Secret are going to have enough in the tank. You know, they surely. And I'm almost building them up at this point. This isn't meant to be a negative. I'm sort of saying surely they can't keep doing that can they? And then if it does happen, you know, it just makes it all the bigger of an achievement. But there has to come a point where one of these teams says, you know, come on, we're looking at fighting for the Six Invitational next year. We're going to dismantle this team. They're playing with the coach. Like,
I had a really fun idea for someone to post on Twitter actually after this game. I didn't have time to make it, but you know the little like video of the guy in the back garden who slaps that kid, and all the parents walk in one at a time, and he's just like, just like put all the EUL team logos on each
Just
person,
secret.
and the hand is Cafe, and Secret is the bloke. Yeah, that's what you wanted to go for, because you could just see teams are like, surely it can't keep on going, right? 4th game, 5th game, 6th game on Cafe, and see if the tides turn.
Well, the thing is, they
Not
show
quite.
more and more every time as well. So every time that Secret play consecutively on Cafe, teams are just getting more and more and more VODs to watch of them, to break down, to, you know, really delve into exactly what they're doing. And so far, the deep dives just haven't been sufficient to come up, you know, with a strategy against them. Until maybe now, with Heroic looking pretty good so far.
I do want to touch on Heroic for a second. We've done a lot of talking about Secret and their kind of stage and where they're coming to now as well. Heroic, for a lot of people's money, are arguably the best team that we have currently got in EUL. They are definitely up there. They're fighting for that top spot. And a couple of neat changes they've made. Obviously, Uno is coming for Anarchic is one big change they made. But the second one I feel that's had arguably an even bigger impact is Sloth's role change on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Last year, he was playing Jaeger exclusively. He was the one out in the map looking to get aggressive, jumping out windows, running at the enemy team. And more often than not was going negative on entry because he was just getting too aggressive. And what you'll clock this stage on the defensive side, they've pulled him back to playing the more passive roles. You'll see him playing things like the mirror. He'll be holding angles. He won't be looking to go and press people. That now comes down instead to players like Gorgona, like Benja. Grizzly more often than not is at the front as well. So although he's kind of been moved into a more passive role in the defense, he is still playing a leading entry role on the attack. So two very different roles for him coming in on either side of the game, but you cannot ignore the results it's delivered for this Heroic side so far. And hopefully that transpires into a win for them today, just to keep that top 4 spicy. Fun fact, as I pointed out earlier, before the game number 4, Secret were in that top 4. So whoever wins this game, actually, you would wager going into our last few play days, is in with a good shot of being able to finish around that top 4.
The other thing that I would say for Team Secret here is don't underestimate what they have already done inside of this stage. The fact that they have boosted themselves up to those top 4 positions, are they going to keep hold of them? Probably not. Does it go a long way towards helping them in potential relegation battles if we look down the line? Absolutely it does. You know, 6 points can be a huge
You know, a really fun one for you. Titan right now has more points and is in a higher position in this competition than G2. The super team and a coach who stepped in for you has really jumped ahead. Just let that sink in.
Stop it.
The thing is, though, a lot of teams are in turmoil, arguably, in EVOL. M&M came in with a number of high expectations, aren't delivering the goods. Pones are really still finding their feet. Outsiders, inconsistent. Na'Vi, the same story. G2, as I said, a mid-table right now. So yeah, Secret are kind of sat in that middle spot between the top 2 or 3 teams and then the rest in a way.
And this is exactly my point. When they're in that position with their coach, that's an unbelievable outcome. The fact that they're not fighting around those bottom places is an unreal outcome.
He's on the Amaru, Tim. They've only gone and stuck Titan on the Amaru of all picks.
Honestly, I just want to see it.
Where's he going?
Come on, Titan. He's got the diffuser in hand. He's going to be moving through kitchen for the time being. He's attacking onto reading.
He wants the hatch.
I am here for this play. And I tell you what, I'm not sure Heroic are, because Titan gets himself under the hatch. He's got the man on the window. Kendrew's got the entry. He's going for it. The Gara hook's out. He is going up there. Can he get this diffuser down? Kendrew's already got one. No! The smokes are out. No! Heroic, we're ready for it. Uno, Grizzly, they shut down the attempt. That's Titan, Sleb, and gone. And all of a sudden, Team Secret, they've got to go back to the drawing board.
I'm so sad. It was coming together so well. Gonfi gets one back. Mirror window shot out now by Keenan too. They've got control up here. They know that there was a man around here. No, he's above you, you fool. Where are you looking? He's on the upstairs, but can't quite find him. It was Benja. And now it's a bit of cat and mouse up and down these white stairs. Whoa, he didn't know he was up from his down then, Tim.
I don't know my up from my down right now, Des. This game is going absolutely wild, and that's the one thing you can guarantee guarantee that Secret will bring, and a nade is going to find Benja. That's going to take him down 3v2 now. Keenan, low health, but there is an opportunity for somehow Team Secret to come away from what is a dumpster fire of a round.
They could be. Uno has somehow snaked himself around inside of red and got himself into a comfortable spot. He knows that he has been droned, and as you probably get that intuition at this level, you get droned out, someone's probably going to move on you, they're going to swing you in some way, so he just adjusts his position ever so slightly to the other side of the room, and now he's got Gorgona providing a little bit of support. Just ready and waiting, also being droned out. So to give it to Team Secret, being very good on the drones here and making sure they've got the information they need before they make their play.
Just going to be having a little creep around here, Kendrew, trying to find an angle, trying to find a man. Gorgona up above using that hatch. Just looking to try and keep some sort of vertical pressure. He's going to get caught out. He's absolutely no idea. Uno just walking in to the crosshairs of Kendrew there. 1v3, and this round might just have been handed away to Team Secret as Gorgona's going to head downstairs. Diffuser has been recovered by Kendrew. Gorgona finds one. That's a 1v3 down to a 1v2. There's an opportunity here, but if Kendrew is quick on his feet, he's going to get this diffuser down. The cover is in place. Keenan makes the challenge. He's not going to lose that. Finds the head of Gorgona, and what started as a failed Amaru hatch plant ends up as a successful round for Team Secret, able to get it over the line and keep things tight. 2-2.
Despite all the drama earlier on about G2's attacking towards the basement of Oregon, this is a total flip on all the things that were called out as wrong in that round. What did Secret do? They slowed it down, they got on drones, they took a stock check, what utility is left, what angles are we holding, right, okay, Kendrew, you need to go and rotate over towards Museum so you can watch through Wheel, for example. Just all these small moves coming together, and I did get a bit scared when Gorg hit that first shot in lightning time, and I was like, oh boy, it's going that way, isn't it? But no, a good bit of composure. They hold their angles, they bait him in with the plant. It's a really good closeout from Secret there and showing how to play when the clock is on your side and you still got drones in back pocket.
Round number 5 then. Round number 5, and Team Secret are still level here on Cafe, and Heroic have got a game on their hands, and I'm starting to wonder if Heroic are sat there thinking, should we have brought them to Cafe?
Give it good time as well. Not forgetting as well, Secret are on the attack inside here.
Yeah.
I don't dig it up, to be fair, because I don't have the numbers to hand immediately, what their attacking win rate is like across the games they've played so far. But given they've won, you'd wager pretty good. They've got away with those Skylight drops, for example. All kinds of madness has come through for them. So it can't be all that bad, surely. I
wouldn't have thought so. We've got Uno on the smoke. He's going to...
Their attacking win rate is 62.5%. It is higher by about 15% than their defensive one. So take from that what you will.
They need a couple of rounds.
They need a couple of rounds, Tim.
Is what I would take from that one. Des Gorgona's going to be up and down those brown stairs, just looking towards the potential push in through white. And Keenan is going to open up there, so they are aware. There's a little ping coming out for the dining window as well. Kendrew, he's going to go down. Picked up instantly by Keenan on the res.
Lol.
Oh, Kendrew.
Lol.
I presume he fell off the rappel.
Maybe. There was an old bug where you would sometimes just fall off the rappel. I don't think it was that. I just don't know how you do that.
No, I'm not sure. Kendrew takes it in good spirits. He's going to be picked up by the thinker of Keenan, so there were no shots exchanged there. It was just hard lines for Kendrew. He's going to open up the red hatch. He's just been given a bit more health as well. A couple of those nanobot boosts have now been used. Only one remaining for Keenan, so that may play a part later in the round if we see any significant loss of HP. Just trying to push into VIP, not taking the shield down yet, but nobody playing inside of there, so not a major problem.
No, Benji was sat right in the back corner of the table. Like, you can't see him, players can't see him, but they did get a drone through just a second ago, so know that he's in there, I think. Oh, and Gorg, that's just cheeky. Kendrew, with no drones up on the top floor, is going to pay for it with his life. The rest of the team, the other end of the map, and he was very much a solo player there, picked up for free.
Secret, yeah, feeling pretty separated at the minute. Benja going to take that challenge onto the VIP window, and then he's just got his angle back in towards Freezer that he's going to hold for the time being. Keenan heading up towards the roof, but it may just be a little bit too little too late, as Kendrew's already lost his life up there.
They really want Benja gone.
Damage is largely done. Benja is in an essential position. They've got to clear him out, and they've got to deal with Gorgona as well. There's no two ways about it.
But he still just dug in that top right corner as well, like really dug in there to make it hard to get rid of him. You can't swing him from restaurant side. Really, the only point of challenge is by going down the red corridor itself or by pushing him from white stairs, and in both cases, you've got a lot of room to cover on the push through. Gorg still lurking, was caught up by a drone. So slowly that intel game is being chewed up by the side of Heroic. A 1v1 about to ensue here as Gorgona, Titan just passing each other like ships in the night. Now back to focusing again and getting the hatch opened up as Benja is finally cleared out of VIP, but there's only 30 seconds to play with, Tim.
Gorgona's going to be a major problem here. He just hasn't been dealt with. He hasn't been spotted out. He's still in a position to challenge. He's just waiting for Titan to commit to that hatch, and he's going to go down behind him and find the kills that he needs to. Titan's in a position to drop, will do so. Going to have to try and work through the Toxic Babe. If he goes through that double window, Uno's going to take him down with a shotty, but he's likely to get found on the angle anyway. Grizzly manages to get Keenan, Titan into a planting position, but as you say...
Oh, no, the drop.
The kill has gone down, but it's going to be Gorgona. It's going to be the Yokai. It's going to be Heroic taking the round, and that is going to be 3-2 now as these two teams keep just dueling it out, just raining blow upon blow on each other.
I think really there, Benja had a massive part in the round too, chewing up tons of time inside of VIP, but I think even without the drop from Gorg, they still had the Yokais on Titan, and no one was around to shoot those out. So whether the drop came through or not, it was going to be a round win over to Heroic side regardless. 3-2 they sit at, and that 4-2 prospect must be in the back of their minds now going into that second half. You do want as many of those rounds on the board as possible, but Secret, knowing their own attacking win rate, knowing the success they've had historically, will be looking for something here as we go again in towards this mining site. And last time around, Secret didn't look too confident in attacking this site, didn't have the control they needed, didn't get all the things right and lined up for them to go for a plant, for example. It was a bit of an awkward kind of 1v1 between the Habana and the mirror window inside of Train. Hopefully this time round things work out a little bit different.
Team Secret, I think, just running out of time, just not getting a lot done. After Kendrew died, there wasn't a lot of drone information, there wasn't a lot of intel. Gorgona was able to play pretty much wherever he wanted over the top two floors without too much hindrance. Something they have to improve upon this time around.
I like the fact that they've got the Twitch on side here as well, because that for me is a pretty critical change. If they're identifying, look, we couldn't pop the mirrors last time, we were struggling to get them out with the Habana, they were just spraying those X-Kyros off the wall. What else can we bring to deal with it? Well, you can play from below with something like a Buck, or you can bring a Twitch and just blast them out very comfortably from seemingly wherever. The big challenge here is, of course, getting those getting the shock drones inside of the site itself or inside a Train and getting rid of those mirror windows. So we'll keep a close eye on those and see where they head to. Sleben currently donning one of them, and Gorg's moving his way across this top floor, being ready to drop back when the time calls for it.
Just deciding that there was no further use for that castle barricade. Uno is aware that there's somebody playing above him on the hatch heading towards Skylight. It's going to be Kendrew on the sledge, and his information is going to be getting fed around the team, but he's going to relocate, get himself onto the east side of Rappel onto White Window. Just looking to make a challenge through it. Don't worry, there is a floor between him and his teammates, so no damage will be done to Gomfi. He's going to throw a drone out, and that's just a little bit of a bait. He's walking to get Sloth to take the challenge, and boy, does Sloth take the challenge. Manages to take the head off Gomfi on White Stairs. That's going to be our opener for Heroic, and they've got themselves a good little advantage here. Two players up on the top floor, not yet dealt with, not yet moved, not yet discouraged. Make that 3, actually, I think, at the moment, and this is not going to be easy for Team Secret from here.
Really tough, can't push him through the snow door either because it's being held. I think Grizzly knows as a man, just saw the legs there for a brief second. You got Uno ready to swing as well. There's no way you walk away with kills out of the back of that one. Sleben, though, going to find Gorgona and remove the Aruni. Uno's, though, tucking a bit tight. Doesn't even need to be there because it's Kendrew who finds the kill. Benja bringing down Titan. It's a 4 versus 2. This one looks pretty much done and dusted. Secret again, crumbling on this mining site. Not quite sure how to break it open, which means a 4-2 half is abound for the side of Heroic, unless Sleben pulls off a miraculous clutch in these last 70 seconds.
Miraculous really is the word. 1 versus 4 it began. He manages to get the first, but leaves himself now low health. Got about 30 HP, so can maybe take a bullet, but he's going to have to be very quick on the draw if he wants to win these last 3 gunfights. The problems that he's really going to face are Sloth and Uno, who are almost on full health. Mirror windows, they've got everything they need to play in behind. Sleben doesn't have diffuser. Literally everything is stacked up against him at this point. He's going to use the smoke to allow him up to the top floor because he knows that's where players are going to be holding, looking for vertical angles. He'd be exactly right. And Uno is going to finish that one out with the nitro tossed onto red stairs. The heartbeat scanner giving him all the information that he needed and enabling him to stop Sleben's heart dead with that nitro as it came through the door. And that's going to be Heroic with a 4-2 lead on the half, and that does not bode well for Secret.
It does not, but I'm sure they won't be too deterred here going into the defensive side because they've got that mirror on side they can play behind, and they've got the Mute Mossy coming out here to really burn through that intel game, especially key because on the side of Heroic, Grizzly currently looking at bringing along that Flores, and we spoke about Flores a lot, Tim. It slows teams down quite a bit. It can take you 90 seconds to get all 4 of those drones out and catching out the utility you want. So if they stick with that, Secret could be very happy with how much time gets burnt through there, and Heroic could be the ones stuck trying to find anything in the dying seconds of a round. We are going to start out inside a Reading and Fireplace, not the most common site that we go to, so if you are going to see any changes, I'd imagine it would be now. Let's see what Secret can do and if they can catch the side of Heroic by surprise at all.
We had a little spell where Reading was sort of statistically the strongest side as a defence back at the end of last year.
I know how passionate you're about Cafe defensive win rates, Tim.
Avoiding Bar and Cocktail particularly. It was down to Kitchen Reading. We're both very, very close with each other, and quite often in a number of the regions around the world, Reading was sort of coming out on top. But as you say, it does seem to have just dipped off a little bit. We see a little bit more mining. We see a bit more kitchen. And Bar has thankfully dropped off from being a primary choice quite often, as it generally is a 50-50 at best. Sleben just looking for that early peak. Secret happy to get aggressive here and see if they can get themselves an advantage. Maybe what they need, just unpredictability. Don't let Heroic settle into this attack. They've already got the confidence up. They've already got the advantage at the half, and they're going to be feeling like they're cruising at this point. So maybe just a reminder that you're in the game, but the only reminder coming is from Sloth, as he's going to pick Sleben up with a headshot, and that gives Heroic a lead 5-4 in round number 7.
We spoke about this during the rehost as well, that you'll see Sloth going back onto the more entry-focused roles, and that's exactly what he's doing here, pricking up the Finker, the go-to entry for attackers. And in case you're curious as to why she's strong, it's not just about the nades, the LMG, or the Gon 6. You can honestly list 10,000 reasons why she's good, but it's mainly because of that gadget. You're giving the entries who've got bigger guns, massively increased ADS time as well, and extra padding on the HP. You just enable your whole team to be a lot better at gunfights. You stim your team going into the fight, you stim them afterwards. You're basically facing someone with an extra 50% HP there as the defender, and with your piddly little LSMGs and so on, you're not going to be able to win that fight very comfortably. So a really, really beneficial operator to have on side.
Progress going well so far for Heroic. They're looking to get control over the top floor.
Oh, close.
Too close. Sloth's going to find himself an easy
come
one.
on.
Call it 3. They're lining up for him at this point. Oh, dearie me. Sloth getting himself a nice triple and taking it well. There was absolutely no rushing him. Picked up his shots, 5v2. And Team Secret, a little bit of a throw on this round as Uno. He's going to pick up Titan, leaving Keenan in a 1v5 and facing down the potential of a flawless round for Heroic on the attack here. And what a start for them on the attack. This is going to be surely a big mental blow to Team Secret.
For them, for Sloth, Tim. He's the one doing
Sloth.
all the work because he walks a
There's your
4K and a flawless round. Beautiful. Really beautiful round.
Heroic.
Admittedly, you'll probably question why Gonf is trying to crouch walk his way into Cigar Shop door, but who's counting?
I mean, basically that just goes to show that Team Secret don't know that there's somebody in there. They don't know really what's going on before they're starting to move around. There's a lack of intel there, so maybe for the defensive lineups, we'll maybe see a little bit more intel-focused gameplay coming forward, both in the operator choices and the utility you're going to play behind. Just before we switched out to the tactical timeout there, we saw a little flash of the mirror coming up. So, like you say, maybe they're just going to try and play in behind that kind of utility now from here on out and just really force Heroic to play rather than walking into them.
Well, boys, you can't win every single Cafe game. The dream of the undefeated Secret Cafe game is, well, or season, I guess, overall, is probably not going to hold too much water here. Heroic are looking pretty firmly in control. Secret, understandably, with this tactical timeout, want to try and get things reset a little bit and back on track. And in case you're wondering, of course, it isn't Titan doing all the talking. The whole team's weighing in. We've seen Kendry talking away, Keenan. Gonfi's been involved too. Everyone is weighing in on what needs to be improved, which is always a nice thing. We've seen teams, when they're really down defeated, just turn towards one man to do all the talking, and it's never really enough. It needs to be a team effort here with some ideas being pulled to get back on track, and that's what they're now starting to find. It's going to be a bar cocktail defense. Up we go to that top floor. And let's see if Secret can hold on. Just one more round for Heroic, and they're at match point, eyeing up all 3 points and the top of the EUL board.
Heroic are going to know. They're going to be able to taste this as well. They'll be able to smell the victory on the cards here. It's 2 rounds away. They're going well. They're winning gunfights. They've got Secret walking into their lines of sight. It's going to feel pretty good for Heroic right now. And Secret, they're going to need a little bit of shock and awe. They could do with coming back with a strong round themselves. They've just been hit for a flawless. they're going to need something big, and the top floor, as you say, is the location that they're going to look to do it, and I'm not too sure myself. I think maybe Kitchen might have been a better option. It's always a tough one to hold on to, is bar and cocktail. As soon as a team like Heroic gets established inside a piano, they'll probably put somebody potentially on that cocktail rappel. You've got the threat of them coming in on the balcony. It just becomes a real nightmare.
Well, let's see, because starting out in the first half, we saw Secret on the attacking side win the first round as well. So far, it's just a repeat of what we've already seen. But momentum, given the last 3 rounds have all gone the way of Heroic, definitely lies in their favour. Starting themselves up here on the top floor, and that white window's already been busted open. I thought we might see a Flores putting some focus up towards there, given the Grizzlies playing on it in this round, because they want to get rid of the shields. They want rid of those bulletproofs. Not forgetting, the bulletproofs can disable those Flores Rotero drones if they zap them in time. So there'll be a focus on trying to get rid of those, because that then really gives Grizzly unrestricted access to the rest of the top floor.
Hatcher's going to be open, so that means that Heroic can start to push forward. We're going to see the floor open up there from the explosives, and we've got the Wamai just inside a cigar there. It's going to be Kendrew playing quite aggressive here. He's just going to dip away to play a little bit more under New Hatch, but he's just looking to get aggressive towards top red stairs. Doesn't want them feeling too comfortable, but he's going to be forced away as a nade gets dropped in from that New Hatch, and he's going to find himself back in the cigar shop. Watching the angle, is going to be drawn down. Difficult for him to move now. He gets forced away and picks up a lot of damage, and playing in that position, playing that aggressively, hasn't really benefited them too much.
No, it hasn't. And in case you're wondering about that first Rotero on that right-hand minibar up inside of the bar area, it's to stop the defenders rotating out of that rotate on the right-hand side, up against the bar, being able to challenge a bit more aggressively and then stepping back. Because it's been blown open, you can't do that. You have to now stay inside of that top right corner, the Maestro spot, as it used to be called a good while ago. Not really seeing Maestro there all that much anymore, but Sloth at least now has that full line of sight straight the way through in case anyone does try and step on in.
Sloth just holding that angle onto Maestro spot because he knows there's potentially going to be a little bit of joy to be had from it as the round progresses. For the time being, the aggression has definitely subsided for Team Secret. They're looking more to hold their angles. We're seeing Uno getting the walls opened up inside of Piano.
They don't know it's clear.
Things are going to start getting more and more difficult here, but Sleben, he manages to find one onto Sloth, and that is a big start. Keenan's on his way up the red stairs as well for what could potentially be a huge flank.
I don't know if they know about him either as well. I mean, Sloth sat on drone, so maybe they've got a flank watch on the go. Gorg finding Gonfi. A second one comes in, so he's going to make his move. Keenan needs to be going now. He's already dipped his way back down. He's going to head his way up white stairs instead. Bails on red. Sleben's going to find one, not getting sprayed back through the soft wall. And find another kill coming back the other way. I thought they might have traded that one, but no. 2 kills for Heroic. Uno's going in for the plant, and Keenan, well, he's pulled off some big clutches before, but this will be one of the biggest of his career if he can pull this one off now. A 3 versus 1. Finds one on the deck, but there's a second one behind him. Gorg collects the kill. Heroic get the round and move to match point.
Looking good for them. You can only assume that there was a flank drone that picked up Keenan on the move, and he saw it and backed out of it. And that, as I say, is Heroic just ticking boxes. They are, you know, we don't care who we're playing against. We're going to treat this as if it's a top tier, you know, absolute full force team, and that's how we're going to play it. Sloth's dead. He's straight on the flank drones. He's watching. He's got the cover. That's what we would assume, and that's just forced Keenan away. I've just looked at what I did wonder to myself, Heroic Rogue, they haven't played yet. When do they play? Because they're now going to be the top 2 teams in the competition, assuming Heroic win this. They play in literally the very last game of the stage. That could be the battle for first place there, and who goes in on that highest seed. That'll be an absolute screamer to close things out. Honestly, it's funny, you'd be surprised. And it's G2 versus BDS on that last day. You'd be surprised how often that happens, where you've got like the top 2 fighting. I remember it happened twice back to back in LATAM, where it came down to like the very final game of the stage every time for who was going to be top of the pops, and it just puts a lot of spice on it. It puts a lot of spice on. Like I say, the two of those games on that final day, G2 BDS, Rogue versus Heroic, they're just huge games and can really have a massive impact. Of course, we'll see when we get there as to whether or not it's still relevant, but knowing that 2 of those top 4 teams, arguably 2 of our top 4 teams, will lose out on that final day means someone else could nick a spot. Certainly could do. Woo. For now, let's see if Secret can nick around back, because it's looking unlikely. It's the only real way to put it. Heroic squaring up for an attack down in towards the kitchen, and Sloth already being pretty quick here and trying to break his way in. Has already removed the shield inside 15 seconds. Bender's on one other side, just really trying to go for a bit of a shock and awe tactic here, really try and push them out, but they can't get rid of Sleben just yet. He is dug in deep. You feel like Heroic have just sensed that opportunity now, and they're like, right, this is it. We've got them on the run. It's time to get in and get aggressive and take them down. We're going to have multiple thrown utility going out, trying to clear that down. What a beautiful nade from Sloth, just bouncing it off the door frame, using the woodwork fantastically to take his man. That's going to be Sleben down. That's going to be VIP cleared out, and that is access gained to that side of the map for Heroic. Team Secret, you better find some kills quickly, because otherwise that site is going to start looking like Swiss cheese.
I didn't catch round 8, but Sloth has had the entry in 3 of these last 4 rounds, and he's on yet again another multi-kill round here. 2K so far, and the side of Secret currently reeling, thinking about, okay, how do we pull this one back? It's a 3 versus 5. We're down 2 to 6. Things aren't looking good, and somehow we've got to find a result here.
A result needs, as you say, to be found, but it's just feeling more and more unlikely here. We've got Gomfi, Keenan and Titan with it all to do. Gomfi does not manage to find one. Slots on a quad. It could be an ace for the final round. He's got the ping. He knows where the man is. He preempts the movement. It's not only going to be a flawless round, it's going to be an ace for Sloth. He deserves it through the game. It's been a big one for him, a big one for Heroic, and that is the win that they were most certainly looking for in that one.
And I don't want to say normality is restored to EUL, but to some level balance is restored in some of the teams, all right? Sloth with a 4K, a 5K, a 7-2 outright for Heroic. That is the kind of scoreline I think we all expected to see. There's the occasional doubt in the back of your mind. Can Secret really do it for a 3rd time? The answer is no.
The thing is, going forward, I guarantee there will be more upsets from Team Secret at this stage. I'll put it out there. There's going to be more upsets from Team Secret. But I said to you coming on to cast, they're due a 7-1, a 7-2. They're playing with the coach. They're going up against full-strength teams. They're going to find one of these that's a struggle. It's of no detriment to Team Secret. So what? You've got 2 wins out of 3 with your coach. You're still going fantastically well.
And Heroic will have had that figured out as well,
exactly.
Right? 2 VODs to go and watch. Heroic have not played, or they played Cafe, I think, twice in the last 6 months. It is not a map they go to. Secret were very much going into the dark playing against them here today, and ultimately the result reflects that. Heroic moving top in the EUL standings, 2 points clear of Rogue. What a start to the season it's been for them, and I can't wait to see what comes on Thursday as well. Let's go to a quick break, and when we come back, our desk will break that one down for you.